We're live.
Ah!
Looking live from Atlanta. I went into my Brent Musburger. You are now looking live at Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum. Anyway, I'm Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM players, and yeah, it's that time, folks. Brace yourself. That didn't really sound inviting.
No, actually, I'm thinking of signing off immediately. I want to go down into my cellar because I'm expecting a tornado now that you said that.
Yeah, brace yourself.
Brace
That just
yourself.
didn't sound good. No, strap in. No, that really doesn't sound good
No,
either.
that doesn't work either.
Oh, we'll just we'll actually take the wise words of Sven
Oh,
and say that. Would you like to take a crack at that one?
sure. Halsningar Vanner, and I'm guessing it's a
Dutch?
Nordic. It's Nordic or Dutch, one or the other. It's either like Estonian. Danish, Swedish, Norwegian, Dutch, or Estonian.
Oh, is
See if
that
I'm
it?
I'm guessing it's one of those.
All right, you're gonna have to tell us what this is, Sven, because we really don't know what you're saying to us. Well, we think it's something positive. Oh, there it is, and it's Swedish.
All right.
Hey, didn't you say
Woo-hoo.
that? That was one of your
Yeah.
8 guesses.
One of my 162 guesses. The only one I didn't guess
Well, at
is
least you were
English.
right. Yeah. Well, yeah, or Old English,
Right,
800
that's
or
right.
something like
It's Middle English. It's Middle English.
Middle. Oh, got it. Middle Earth. Now where's
Chaucerian English.
Frodo Baggins is about to. Anyway, so
That's right.
we'll stop it right there.
Right.
Yes, it is the CRM Players. We are back. It's Thursday afternoon. It's actually a pretty nice, really nice right now. At least it's supposed to rain later on, but I'm happy. I'm good with this.
I'm pretty good over here too. Decent weather, a little warm for my taste, actually, weirdly. But I mean, anything over 68 is warm for my taste. So we're probably at 73, something like that.
Something like that. It's about that here and there. And that is your CRM Players weather report for
That's
Thursday,
right.
November 11th.
For Veterans Day.
There it is. Yeah, that's right. It is Veterans Day. Shout out to all the veterans.
Yes,
Definitely.
sir. Once again, thank you for your service.
Absolutely. We wouldn't be doing this kind of stuff if those folks weren't around. So,
Yeah, amen.
Definitely. You span the linguistic.
I did. No, you're right, Josh. I actually was conscious of that. I included Estonia mostly due to semi-proximity.
Where do they speak Pig Latin?
In the pig pen, I imagine. On Charlie Brown's characters.
Andrew.
Oh man, he already gave away our
Baltimore.
guest. He gave away the guest.
I know. Yeah.
Andrew.
Thanks a lot, man. Gee.
Okay, we can just sign off now.
Yeah.
Damn,
no more surprise, folks. We're done here. Actually, we're not done. We got plenty to talk about even before our guest comes on, which is Liz Miller from Constellation Research. So thanks to Andrew for pointing that out. Anyway, so we're like in between analyst events, and I mean this last 2 weeks has been kind of nuts.
Yeah, I mean it goes on to next week too. It keeps going. Pigland. That's it. Wow, Josh, your knowledge of a language is astounding.
He's on a roll.
He is.
He's
Pig
like,
Latin and pig from Pigland. Where else?
Yeah.
Who would have thunk? Who would have thunk it?
We might. I don't know, but he will apparently.
He did.
So yeah. So and we're just coming out of the Salesforce Analyst Forum. We're about to go into the Freshworks Analyst Summit after we're done here. Yesterday, for me at least, what's today's? All right, so yesterday was
Thursday.
Genesis, I think.
Genesis was yesterday as an analyst summit, but you also had a speaking engagement at Creatio.
Oh yeah, Creatio, Genesis, and then you had ServiceNow yesterday. You were presenting.
Yeah, I had a webinar with ServiceNow. And then next
Yeah.
week is I think is a ServiceNow Analyst Summit. And
Yeah.
then pros outperform the full conference
Yep.
and analyst stuff related to that. Uh,
Yep. And then there
and didn't we
is
just have last week? Was it last week a sugar CRM analyst thing? Was last
yep,
week?
sugar was last week.
Last week.
And it seems like there was something else because I did well, you don't really you didn't check out
But
the keep thing,
no.
icon. That
Mm-mm.
was that. And then next week is actually too. Pega is doing their tech trends for 2022, which I got a chance to sit down and talk with the guy with the golden voice of CRM, Jeff Nicholson.
Wow. Did he
I like
sing?
that. I like that the golden voice
He is.
because he's
He
got. I mean,
actually
he
is.
has a surprisingly really good voice. He caught me off guard. I was
Me too.
Jeff can sing. Yeah, I
I've
almost had
known
to
the
say
guy
Jeff
like
can sang, so
sang right. Jeff can sang. I've known Jeff like I want to say 22 years or something, and I had no idea till BYOB 2020 that guy could sing.
yeah, thanks a lot, Josh. Yeah. First we got Andrew like just, telling people who's coming on, and now we got you just saying basically you're here for Liz. Thanks, buddy.
That's
We
okay.
appreciate.
We love you. Oh, that's right. Ignite was last week too.
Oh,
I actually stepped in
I
for
did.
about 10 minutes at that. Just because
Well, I'm supposed
it's
to be
more of
catching up
a
with my buddy Rodney Clark, who kind of is running that whole operation now. So
no, that'll make it
yeah,
easy.
I'm definitely looking forward to that. Yeah, so there's a ton of stuff going on. Before we bring on our guest Liz, your thoughts on some of the stuff that we've seen already, or
Well,
in,
the tough part with a lot of this is that it's all there's a lot of NDA stuff in all of this. However,
yeah,
there's a
right.
couple of trends. One thing that was sort of I'll call it something that was generally common to almost all of the events, which is very strong focus around experience design and personalization and engagement on both the employee and the customer side. And oh, you're absolutely right, Josh. I mean, like totally worth it. And so ultimately, especially in the larger companies, the obviously the trend is, as 2021 comes to a close and we start moving to 2022 is going to be around the experiential and the engagement side of things. And it's interesting because from almost every standpoint, every company, all of these companies at some point, the ServiceNows and the Genesis, et cetera, and even Salesforce to a certain degree, or a different way, started out on the very heavily operational side of things, one way or the other, maybe contact centers or service ops, or in Salesforce's case, sales kind of tech and ops, and so on. And almost every one of them has made a decision pretty much pivotally this year that they were going to go from that more left brain product centered approach to a more right brain. They call it customer centered. That's always debatable because some of it still sounds like product to me, but at least in theory, customer centered approach. And I find that on one hand, given your and my history and others on this very matter, I can only say, "Ha ha, we told you so," to all of them, right? Because we did.
Right,
We
absolutely.
back from 2008 on, we started telling them this is the direction you got to go. And when I say we, it's not just you and me; it's about a third of the analyst community, including some of the people who are communicating here, like Josh, and when Liz comes on, Liz, people who basically have tried to redirect the vendor community that way and have managed to some degree succeed at doing it, although I don't want to take too much credit for it. They're making, let's call it, individual, particular, and sound business decisions. Now, again, execution in
Right.
all their cases is different. Again, because this part of it is I really want to go into is under NDA. I'll just say that there was some of this was in these things were very self-serving and I didn't like it in a couple of them. And on the other hand, on the whole, I'm bolstered. I am uh, not. I don't want to say I'm jazzed. That would carry way too emotionally far, right? I'm glad to see that they're moving in that direction. And this week and last week and hopefully next week uh, has, is, and will confirm all this.
Yeah, I mean that was a mouthful, but you're right. So the thing that I always look forward to on on days like this, particularly I guess when we're going to a Salesforce analyst, a virtual analyst event. I'm trying to find out. Oh, here we go. So we know it's an analyst event with Salesforce when we see Ann Chin, of
The
course.
best ever.
Absolutely. But
the new
you
love of my
can't
life.
think of
Minnie.
you can't think of Ann without thinking of the one and only Minnie, who this is a preview. This is from today, but take my word for it. She was in that same position. And now that I look at this picture, this is from like a couple of months ago. She was in the exact same. I mean, she was
Yes.
looking about as the same level of tired there today as she was looking there. So it's one of the things we always look forward to. Now last week, was it last week? We showed the picture of when the dog father met Minnie, and people seem to like that picture a lot. And of course we have, let me see, here's the other picture we have that we've been ending the show on.
The
This is a
best.
really cool picture because this is Minnie watching us, watching us do the CRM Playaz. So we, for the foreseeable future, you will be seeing this picture pretty much at the end of every CRM Playaz episode.
And just to
So
be
there it
clear,
is.
that laptop on the desk is Minnie's actual laptop.
That's great. Okay. So I have to admit I felt a little left out when you had a chance to spend some quality time with Minnie last week
I
and get that great
I
picture.
that was literally the best experience I had at Ray's event was Minnie. It was just
Yeah.
amazing. And I'll tell you what, Minnie. The funny thing is, I mean, we've never seen Minnie any more active than completely inert, right? That's like the most active we've ever seen. It was completely inert. Yet when I met her, she was a lively little dog, man. She was running all over the place. She was happy. She was jumping.
Wow.
Oh my God. It was like so different.
Man.
I met Anne brought
So
Minnie with her husband.
yeah, so I have to admit I felt a little left out because I was here. I wasn't a part of the festivities, but I made up for it today. So, in the midst of the Salesforce analyst forum going on, I saw a moment and I seized the moment. And with that moment came this.
Oh, that's awesome. A selfie.
I have my selfie, and there's Anne, and there is Minnie. So you might have got a chance to see her at the CCE event, but I've got my picture of me and Minnie and Anne as well. And as you
Minnie
can see,
literally photobombed you.
she is in the exact same. Let me bring up that other picture because look at how she's sitting there, and look at this.
That's the same angle, even. Even at
I'm
the
telling
same
you,
angle.
that
You
is
think
the
she
exact.
like?
Let's see, go
That's
there.
just unbelievable.
Maybe
That's not
just
quite.
slightly a little
Yeah,
off, but she's the same level of tiredness that we see. It's there. It is there.
absolutely
So
phenomenal.
I just wanted to point it out. I had to make up for it. Minnie, we will eventually get a chance to meet face to face, but in the meantime, this will do. But I just had to put this out there because you got so many compliments from you and Minnie, and you're the dog father. I'm like the uncle or something. I'll take the uncle. I'll be the uncle to Minnie. How is that
Listen,
okay? Can I be the uncle?
listen. I had a business motive, man. I was trying to get Minnie's paw print on a contract with the players. I was
Oh,
thinking,
see, were you able to get that? Because did you have to go
well,
through like Minnie's agent or something? Because we would like to
yeah,
have
I
her,
literally have
come
to,
back.
and who our agent is? Scott Boris.
Oh no, no, we don't have enough money.
Yep.
Oh, sorry,
It's gonna
Minnie.
be rough. That's right. You
Wait a
have
minute.
like a little
Where's
brother or sister that you can
no?
introduce us to, or just come
Where's
to a
Rebecca? We might have to talk to Patrick.
that's right. Patrick's our definite second choice.
uh, all jokes aside, we love Minnie and we love Anne, and some people may hate this, but when it comes to analyst events, Salesforce is still kind of head and shoulders above everybody right now.
You know what? To your point, I actually want to elaborate slightly on that because I really think it's about time. Look, there's been we've had almost a year and a half plus on figuring this stuff out. And there's been a million models tried, good and bad, on not just analyst summits, but on conferences and so on. Creatio is trying that unique one that you described on the happy hour as 100 minutes, 100 minutes per day for
Oh,
16 days?
yeah, it's 100 minutes, 5 days a week until the end of the month for a Cree show. And I just thought that was really great because it's not too long of a time commitment for one setting. And not everybody's going to go to check it out every day. So people can pick their spots, and it doesn't take up a big chunk of their time. And I know all a lot of these vendors are experimenting, and rightfully so. We're trying to figure out the right mix because it's hard to keep people's attention for an extended amount of time. And traditionally, all these events, some of them are a couple of days, some of them are a day, the least of them are half a day, and you just can't do that right now. You
No,
just can't.
no,
So
no.
I applaud Creatio doing that, and I liked it. I mean, I did my thing. It was a 40-minute. Now, if I had one criticism, or maybe not criticism, but uh,
Tweak.
suggestion,
Hmm.
yeah, tweak. 40 minutes is a long time. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed the conversation, and I hope people that were checking out did too. But I think I like the 20-minute. Keep it like this and keep it moving. Maybe break it up into a couple of segments. Other than that, I think what they're doing is really good.
And they're again, they're starting to finally get used to how to think through virtual events. At least the hybrid aspect doesn't really matter as much in this case. But on the analyst summits, honestly, you can't have 4-hour analyst summits anymore. I mean, it just no one has the time for 4-hour analyst summit. No one has the time for because of all the other things that get in the way of it. And so, everyone. It's interesting. So Genesis had 2 days at 3 hours one day and 2 hours the second day. Freshworks tonight is 4 hours tonight, which timing is not great. The who's it? Oracle typically does once a quarter. They do about about an hour or 2 hours a day for 3 days or something
4
like
days,
that. We
3
had
or
3
4
or 4
days.
days.
Yep.
Yeah, which is manageable, but a little many. But again, if you have the interest, you go, and no one's obligated. And then, but and Salesforce, of course, does anywhere between 60 and 90 minutes per time, and seems to be
Right.
what, monthly, quarterly? I don't even know.
Yeah, they're on a really good cadence.
Yeah,
I
that's another
had
word
to
that
throw
goes
that
with
out there.
venerable. Goes with venerable. They're on a very
All right,
venerable cadence.
we got to bring our guest on because I think she may have some opinions on
Oh,
these
come on.
topics that we're
She's, you
talking
know how
about.
demure she is. She's not gonna
I don't
have
know.
an opinion.
So
You're gonna
why?
have to coax
So
it
why
out of
don't
her.
you? So why don't you do the introduction, and then after you completely praised her to the hills, we'll bring her on so we can see her blush.
All right. So so the best thing you can say about Liz Miller is A, brilliant analyst, B, knows her, you know what, incredibly
Stuff.
well. Uh, Outsized, phenomenal personality, a giant heart, and also happens to be a VP and principal analyst at Constellation. And has had a history, I believe, is CMO. I mean, she's got a long. She is one of the best in the business, one of the most liked in the business, one of the most outspoken in the business. But it's interesting. She's very outspoken, but she never does it in a malevolent or vicious or mean way. She makes everybody smiles, but hears every damn word she says, and listen, and not only hears them, because she says them pretty out. She's out there with that booming voice of her, but they listen to every word she says too. They don't just hear it, right? So
Yeah.
she a remarkable person, really, and one of the most enjoyable human beings and big-hearted human beings we know. So I think that would probably
And on top of that,
satisfy a
yeah,
relatively effusive one because I believe every word of it. So let's
yeah. And on top of that, when I met her at the CCE a couple of years ago,
mhm.
she came up to me and gave me a high five for being a Rams fan. So that immediately sealed my approval of this wonderful person, who is Liz
There
Miller.
she is. Whoa, you're not even in a hallway.
I'm not in a hallway. I arranged for late checkout just for you two.
Oh wow! See,
That
that's what I'm talking about. Late
that is
Modern
checkout
like
just for us.
technology, people.
Come
honor.
on,
That is the
that's
greatest
just
honor you could
awesome.
bestow. A
I'm
late
telling
I'm
checkout.
you, late
serious.
checkout in Vegas, it's one of those moments where I realized, like, oh my God, I'm in Vegas again.
Well, that's not necessarily a good real estate.
Yeah, like it was like,
look, look at what Alan
hey Alan, what's up, buddy? Hey
What do
there.
you mean?
Just
What do you
on
mean late
you.
checkout? What do you mean late
What do you
checkout?
mean late checkout? What do you mean? What do you mean you're not at lunch in the lagoon room? Oh my God. Awkward. Hashtag. Yeah.
Hey,
Ah,
hey, Alan, don't worry, she'll be there. Don't
I'll
worry,
be back
man.
down, Alan. It's gonna be fine. I left Ray with you. I mean,
I was
isn't that
gonna say
enough?
you've been trained by Ray anyway. You can be in
Which
10 places at
which
once.
clone was that you left
I,
with
well,
him?
yeah.
Or
He was wearing the Constellation jacket with the giant logo on the back, not the kind of
Oh,
little big logo on the
that's
back. So I think it
oh,
was number 3.
no, that's
oh,
actually no,
look at
Liz. That's
That
4.
was number 4.
That's 4. Yeah.
look,
The
Liz,
what?
you have just gotten a nickname from Sven,
The
the
good mother
good
of
Whoa!
mother.
panelists.
I wonder if he meant the
Okay,
Ah,
godmother, but it
Sven.
works
I
out
don't
better as good
know.
mother.
It's
I
fine.
like the
I'm gonna
good
go with
mother. It's
either.
kind of nice.
Yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It works. It works. It was weird though being back in Vegas because I walk in and they've got the whole ring set up for a fight that's coming up later in the month, and I kind of
Oh.
had those like weird flashbacks of like, wait, am I here for my old job or am I here for my new? Like, I don't know what I'm doing here. Like, I almost went back into like forum boxing fight marketing mode there, so it was a little touch and go. And around like 10 o'clock last night, walking into the hotel, I'm like, okay, where are the ring girls? Where's live TV? Where's the satellite truck? Like, I
Right.
sat there for a minute. I came back, remembered. We're here to talk experience. It's all good.
Speaking of which,
Yeah.
talk. Given where you are, what have you seen?
I was going to
And
ask this
tell
one.
people where you are too, so that they know.
So
Yeah,
I am
Vegas.
live in Vegas at Refresh, #Refresh 2021, with the lovely team here at Freshworks. And, I got to tell you, it's been terrific. Like, talk about the best Freshworks to be here, like the best Refresh to be here live to see, because it's their first one as a public company, right? Like,
Oh,
when you talk about an event you couldn't get wrong, it was this one, right? Because it was like, hello, welcome to your first outing, on a very new, very public stage. And they've been nailing it. I'm not gonna lie, it's been great. They've really thought through what it meant for an audience to be hybrid. And I loved that thinking because it comes through and everything. And it's very different than when you think about the event needing to be hybrid. Because I think when you think about an event that needs to be hybrid, you think about where does the content go? Where do I put the slides? Where do I put the speakers? You think about the mechanics of an event. And so you think about, well, if it's live, we do this. If it's virtual, we do this. They've really been thinking about where their audience was going to be watching and how they could make sure all of the audiences watching felt like they were watching the same thing, right? So it's organized watch parties in Sweden, and a shout out from the stage of like, hey, everyone in Sweden, and you're getting to see that then come through on social. It's missing, and I think, listen, it has nothing to do with Freshworks, but any of these events, it's missing that electricity of the users. You know what I mean? Like when you get fans together, like Dreamforce, if you've got like, they normally have like, what was it, like 10,000 people? Like how many people did they normally cram into San Francisco? It's electric. You feel it. You feel how excited everyone is. Yep. You're looking at someone voluntarily wearing a gold spangled hoodie, right? Like not only voluntarily, like they cry when they get it. You feel that electricity, and you appreciate that electricity when you're watching it on a screen. You don't necessarily feel it. And what I like, Freshworks has really tried to bring a lot of that in. You're not necessarily going to bring that in, but I got to tell you, people are really happy to be here. Their users are happy to be here. People are just excited to get back together and see each other. It was nice to, sit at that front row analyst table and take pictures and, hoop and holler. It was fun. It was good to be back with everyone. Your CRM Convos brothers are here. Oh yeah, because Ray and I, we're it's bad. We've been leading slow claps. Like, cause they're right where you're like try to get the crowd to get going. Like if I could start a wave, I totally would. Like,
I was gonna say if you guys are starting waves, oh my God, this is wow.
We haven't gone there yet, but so one of the nice things that Freshworks did was recognize a lot of their internal teams that have been doing hackathons. And so it's kind of like Sneaks, but a hack. And they invited developers and users to be also part of that process. And they were kind of sharing what some of those new, what those new elements are going to be. And it was funny because like the first one was announced, it was really cool. It was like, hey, listen, it's going to be like Instagram-like stories that if you're a customer service agent, you can just go on and kind of create your own little story of like, hey, the website's down. And it becomes this familiar way for people to consume information, right? If you're an agent, it feels normal if you're looking at an Instagram story, right? It doesn't feel like I've got a ticket. It feels like you're talking with your colleagues. And it was a really cool, hack that they were looking at, and they were calling it Fresh Stories, I think was the announcement. And it was really funny because they're like, yeah, and this will be coming to you soon. And it was like the audience was waiting for permission to be excited about it. So yeah, so Ray and I just started we were like, woo!
You mean they didn't have the applause now sign so that people could get back into the swing of things?
Yeah. No. I'm gonna go ahead and take one. Don't tell Alan not to worry. Alan, don't worry. I'll just take one on the big boom camera that they've got going because they got a setup here.
Why are we even talking to Alan? Doesn't he have other things to do?
Alan's got a lunch. I don't know. Ray's posting pictures of the lunch I'm missing, which I think is just mean. But he did say hi. He wanted me to say hi to both of you.
Yeah, no, wait a minute. Did he get any picture of the blueberry bagels that they'll be serving? Because I know for a fact that blueberry bagels are big for Refresh.
Yeah, no, remember we decided what happened? They put them back on the table.
So I did not see blueberry bagels in the baked good area, but there were cups of blueberries. So I can improvise. Fair. Yeah,
that's don't you dare. Interesting. That's all I can say. Just don't do that.
We'll see if they're Brookies this afternoon. It'll be okay.
The Brookies will be all right, but not blueberry bagels. Not that. So what was well, go ahead. What do you want?
I just wanted a quick general impression of what is Vegas like overall.
Oh, it's calmed down a bit. So we were here in July. We brought Constellation brought all of us analysts and all of our whole team came out in July, actually, along with our healthcare summit that we threw. And then, if you had asked me in July what Vegas was like, it was like the circus car, like that brings the clowns in, like the VW bus, where like the clowns just keep coming out. And like Delta would show up every once in a while. Like if you just let the clowns just keep coming, and every once in a while some dude with like a Delta sign would walk out. It was kind of like that feeling where you were like, people are excited to be out of the clown car, but I really need everyone to stay inside the clown car, right? It is a lot different now. I think everyone's kind of calmed down. Vegas has calmed down a little bit. It's gotten a little bit back to normal. Hey, Mandalay Bay is sold out right now, so that pretty much says it.
Wow. So, what the conference? Who was there a keynote this morning?
There was a neurologist who's, of course, name. Now that you ask, okay, it's ironic that I can't remember the name of the neurologist who was the opening keynote.
I know it's like the
talking about
signs of delight or happiness or something.
He was talking a lot about the neurology and kind of the what goes into delight. So I'm sure you guys have heard this before. I hate the word delight.
Yes.
I am not a fan of the concept of.
Have you expressed that to the folks at Freshworks?
I have not, because
I'm going to
file that under #awkward.
I will back you up in anything you say about that, Liz.
It is. I don't think it's a goal. Like, I just don't see it as like when people will say to me, like, if you ask them, like, okay, great, so you're going to invest in marketing. Congratulations, that's awesome. I love it. As a marketer, I'm all for it. What do you want to do? And if someone looks back at me and is like, I want to delight our customer, I'm like, no, we got to go. Like, you need to make money. Like, I need you to say, I want to have a profitable customer relationship. Like delighting your customer, that's great. I could keep delighting you all day long by creating an unprofitable relationship and continuing to give you back your money because I don't know what I'm doing. I'm delighting you, but so I bristle at that one. But I will say this: I learned that there is something called egoism, and it apparently drives people to want to identify with or get closer to things that reflect them, like your name. So one of the things this guy said was like, listen, statistically, there's like a higher preponderance of people named Dennis or Denise who become dentists because their unconscious ego drives them to kind of look at this profession. Now, here's my problem. My father's name was Ernest Francis Miller, and he was a dentist. So I'm not quite sure if that says that my dad didn't have an ego, because he super, super did. It's kind of where I got this. So I'm like, because my mom's like this 5'2" quiet little Korean lady, and my dad was like the 6'4" this Irish person. So I might blow this guy's whole delight theory, but I think a lot of it was super interesting. I think one of the things I took away from it was a lot of thought around if the human brain is the most complex computational wonder the world has ever seen, and we are trying to replicate those neural processes through the application of AI, whose ego did we build into it? Right? Because if ego is driving this unconscious decision making, then okay, do we, I think a lot of conversations right now are kind of focusing on, oh my gosh, there's so much, unconscious bias in AI. And it's like, yeah, of course there is, because this computational device built it.
Of course.
So it's not about eliminating it or removing it. It's about identifying it and understanding it and pointing it in the appropriate direction. And, I think that everything that he was sharing about kind of that unconscious, voice that sits in your head, that the minute someone asks you how to do something, you immediately forget how to do it. So you can't tell them how you did it. Like, go up and ask Tom Brady right before a game, hey, how do you throw the perfect ball? he's going to not ever throw another ball again because he's going to be thinking and overthinking and rethinking.
Really?
And right. So next time
I need to get somebody on that job right now. Then.
Yeah, Brent and I are
Somebody
just
get in
going to
his
go
face
back there
and
be
ask
like,
him that right now.
how do you throw that ball, buddy? Hey, you. Yeah. Hey, he left my team. He can just go throw nothing but nothings. But and yeah, I know. We
Wait
can
a
have that
minute.
conversation in a minute. Are we having
up.
it now?
Hold,
Are we doing this now?
Hold up.
Are we doing this now?
You just
can do it now, Brent.
opened a big door.
Okay, let's do it, Brent. But I have a good reason. No. You have to listen to my reason, Brent, because I think you'll give me a pass. You'll give me a pass. Okay, just hear me out.
Liz, I have to tell you this before you
I
start.
know.
Both of us have to give you a pass. This is
okay. You both have to give me a pass.
And one isn't good enough.
There's a very, very good reason. Okay, so go back in time to 1989 when the Patriots couldn't win a game. Remember those years?
Oh, yeah, those were great.
Remember those years?
Man,
Remember those years? I know y'all like those years. Those were great years for a lot of people. But remember, it was like, hey, the Patriots were the Cardinals of the 80s, right? Like, remember, it was like, hey, they won a game. Let's throw a parade because we feel so good for them. Yay. So what they used to do is they used to run these ticket packages. And as an LA girl living in the middle of no place in Western Massachusetts at an all-women's college, I'm getting a package for a bus ride to Boston, a ticket to a football game, a hot dog and a beer for $25.
Wow.
Sounded like a pretty good idea, right? Because when you need to paper your seats and you need to get people to make it look like someone cares about your team and they're in the stands, you're going to get desperate college kids from Western Massachusetts to come on out in a blizzard for a beer. So I figured that if someone could feed me and give me a beer while they were losing, I could stick with it, right? I could stick with it and be there. I was also raised in a household that really liked the Cowboys. So I'd like to say that I didn't really have a lot of role models in my football fandom growing up.
Oh, sorry.
So
might give you a pass to do a very, very sad
they
childhood.
gave me beer and hot dogs. So I was like,
Liz, all I could say is
Dallas didn't give me beer and hot dogs.
No, but it's really in your favor that we really like you.
Yeah, you are. You're not kidding. Because
If
honestly,
my husband
there came a point where you could, Liz. There came a point where you could afford $30, and at that point, it was time to drop.
It was time to go. It was time to go.
Right.
But here's the deal: I'm not a Niners fan.
Well, we don't care.
Yeah, that's great. But the Niners, haven't.
If I had to leave the Patriots, I'd go with the Rams. So I'm a Rams fan by proxy. Like I'm a Rams fan, you know.
I kind of feel like you're kind of making up.
I'll tell you what. You know what?
No, listen, I'm a Kings fan. I kind of bleed black and silver. I mean, Jonathan Becker had to slap a Sharks hat on my head while accepting his Supernova Award for customer experience.
That was a pretty good move too.
Mean. It was just it hurt my heart a little bit. You know. I'm missing some hair now. It's fine.
Well, I'll tell you what, Brent and I will powwow after the show and we will render a decision and pass it over to Ray.
Thank you. I did.
We'll have to pass it to Ray.
You'll have to pass it to Ray.
Right, and then he can send it to you.
Ray can send it in. I did, as I was going through LAX, there was a moment of like, is it like varmint level bad if I were to purchase the floral Rams baseball hat and send it to Brent? And I was like, that might go too far. That shouldn't be part of his collection. Yeah. They've got a pretty impressive collection at the airport, but the floral one I felt went a little too far.
No. I have 70 some odd Rams hats and none of them were floral. So you made a good choice there.
Yeah, they had a pink camo one too, which I also thought.
Camo.
Yeah,
I didn't know you could
actually be there.
Have camo and pink in the same actual phrase.
Like you're supposed to blend. Who are you blending with in pink? I don't understand that. Like fundamentally, I don't understand it.
In Easter, during Easter egg hunts with rabbits, that's when you blend with pink.
Yeah.
No, I don't get it. I don't get it.
But I'll say this though. the moment you said what you said, the interview would have been over usually for anybody else.
I know.
So, you know, we're we like
Okay,
say
what do I
this.
need to do? What do I need to do to make it
No,
up?
you're
Like
you did you've done what you have to do. Brent and I can take all of this under advisement and go from there. So back to your unconscious bias and AI and so on.
yeah,
You know, when I was in school, when I went to journalism school, and this is the late '60s. Keep in mind. So at that point, everybody's mantra, including all the traditional journalists who were teaching us classes, were reporters, editors have to remain unbiased, right?
right.
But that's always was a crock. I mean, you know, the reality is every single decision an editor makes as to where they're going to place an article on what page indicates bias immediately. My actual
Sure.
best teacher was oddly he was an editorial, the guy who ran the editorial department for the Chicago Tribune, which was my enemy politically at the time. But his name was Alfred Ames. He was a great teacher, and he always, clear as day, he said, "Look, we could preach that stuff at you all day. None of it's true. We're all human beings. We all have biases. We are never devoid of bias, ever,
Right.
in
Right.
everything." So
You know,
just
and
to
journalism is
your
such an
point,
interesting.
accept it.
Yeah, like I think journalism is a really interesting spot to come at that from, right? Because you then have, I think, the juxtaposition there, especially when people really want to feel like they are unbiased, right? Because that's what this is, right? People want to feel like they do not harbor bias that creates a negative outcome, right? So you don't want to feel like, oh, I put a story there that unintentionally did harm or unintentionally influenced in a way I didn't intend to influence, right? So it's about how you feel when you are confronted by your own bias, right? You don't really like that feeling. You don't want to have that feeling. But I think what's interesting is the juxtaposition of that is, of course, gonzo journalism, which was all about not just creating those uncomfortable moments, but wearing your bias all over yourself, let alone on your sleeves, right?
Hunter Thompson.
And yeah, and so you had those moments of, you could either feel intensely uncomfortable because you're forced to confront your bias, or you can try to work a way around it, right? And I think that's where we're at. We're at that moment right now when it comes to data conversation. I know marketers are talking about this a lot, because especially in an age where every single poll shows that no one likes what Facebook has done, or at least made us feel they've done, used an algorithm to make us feel a certain way. It feels like the control of our emotions and the control of our feelings have been ripped away from us. And you know what? As human beings, we don't like that. We fundamentally don't like it. It's the same reaction that consumers had when they found out that marketers would subtly shift the label of a tea. So, suddenly in your favorite TV show, you suddenly want this tea that I'm drinking. What did everyone do? You can't force me to drink that tea because you're just showing it to me. That's not what you're doing. The reaction wasn't to the tea. The reaction wasn't to the action of product placement. The reaction was to that nefarious feeling of someone's trying to make me feel something that I didn't control and I didn't decide to feel. Right. And so I think that's where we're at right now, is we're trying to decide, okay, who gets to feel what? Like who gets, or should we even be in that game? Like, are we really just going back, and is it influencing? Is it pushing? And it's a huge conversation. And I don't necessarily know that there's any right answer other than don't be a
dick.
Curse word. Am I allowed to say that word? Oh God, like we're not on network TV. I can say, don't be a dick, right? Like that's kind of the mantra, right? Like if you're using data, don't be a dick.
Yeah. Well, I mean, look,
I like that. It's straight to the point, easy to
Right.
remember.
It's what it is. I mean,
it's an alliteration.
Look at this. Ultimately, look, everybody's biases are going to be, it's kind of what ultimately, not that things don't change over time and years, but at any given moment, it's pretty much what composes them. and it pretty much is how they operate and how they live and who they interact with and when they interact. Is all driven by that. I mean,
Yeah.
like, well, look, our job. Think about it. We're analysts. Our job is to be biased, right? I mean,
Right.
I mean, we may be vendor agnostic,
But not
we're
that we can be
we're not
biased without
biased.
being a dick, right? Basically,
Right.
that's
But that's
Right.
our job.
Although some
Right.
of our
Like
brethren
what?
don't think that, but
Yeah.
right. So, the thing is that that the reality is, and to Josh's actual point too, is the bias is just simply be acknowledged. Look, I mean, who doesn't have companies that you kind of like better than other companies, or things
Sure.
that you like doing more with, or the way like we were just talking earlier about how we think Salesforce does the best analyst summits, right?
Yeah.
Because of the way they do it. Well, that's a bias. I mean, there might be somebody who actually likes 4-hour analyst summits, although I am definitely not one of those.
Who's that person? I need to know.
I am literally speculating. I am literally speculating on an alternate universe, I think. Right. So we're not dealing with this actual universe. So,
listen,
but
we
I'm
all
saying,
go to the Salesforce sessions for Mini. Let's just get that
we
out
enjoy
there.
them.
We go.
We actually enjoy them.
Yeah. But it's also, I'm going to boycott Salesforce analyst sessions. I did have to skip this morning, so that's embarrassing. I'm going to boycott future ones if I don't get a virtual background with Mini in the corner.
By the way, as far as you not being there today, I logged in as you, so you're okay.
Thank you. Okay, great. So you asked all of the obnoxious questions about re-architecting platforms?
Yeah. I just said, I'm dying here. That's all I kept saying.
I'm dying.
I just went, I'm dying.
Did you
Bless
see my
the
selfie
Salesforce
with
folks. I did
you
see
my
that.
selfie
And that
with Mini?
I
Okay,
did.
I just want to make sure
I did. I have been known to take, watching you guys, and when Anne is on, I have been known to take pictures just of Mini, because she's the bomb. I showed Anne one. I was like, I'm gonna Photoshop Anne out of the screenshot so I can have a virtual background of Mini just chilling. Because she does. If there is a graphic representation of not giving a single F, it's Mini.
Yep,
that's Mini. Let me ask you guys a question, because I noticed this more on the Salesforce calls than on any other. We're, the presentations are great, but we're looking at everything, and they know we're looking at everything.
I know.
Do you notice that they have like the game face? Like every one of the market strategy folks, they have this like a game face. It's almost like they've gone through media training to keep their face smile. With not most of them don't. I know they're working.
Yeah, but it's almost like I always laugh because like they're so jovial and like they're such a fun group of people, right? Like Anne's great, Artie's amazing. Yes. I love working with Christy. Like it's such a great group of people, right? But man, they're on those calls and they're like,
they got their game
face. They got game face, and I'm like, is it John? And like, is he threatening them? Like, what's going? Blink if you're okay. Like, I don't know what's going on.
You have to do palm out and thumbs in. Like that's the TikTok's danger sign, right? So,
but I've been looking for that game face for all the other like analysts to see if anybody else has that unified. Like there's multiple people.
No, but you know what you got to do? I actually do this because of that game face. I literally do DMs to them on the chat.
You try to make
I do something funny. I do it all the time.
I can see
once in a while.
I try to do that with Anne.
Yeah, I do that with John and Ann. I once tried to. I probably shouldn't have done it, but he was in the middle of talking and I did it. Right. So, yeah. And he's just like cracked a big smile, but he held his own.
I bet Mike would crack. Mike would crack. I think he would crack. I think we could crack it. But no, the other classic one that I love, and it's the move, and it's so stealth, and it's so slick, and I think she teaches everyone who comes to Adobe how to do this. Have you ever been on a briefing where Sheila just shows back up and her face is just there and like she's been gone the entire briefing? Like everyone else is talking, right? And then all of a sudden Sheila arrives back and she's like, which is her, it's time to shut up now. Like it's the top of the hour. So you've all talked enough now. Please go away. And you're just like, okay, Sheila's back. And I love it because like it's like she's my ultimate timekeeper, and it's fantastic. But it's like such like it's Sheila Game Face, and so now I started noticing that like Danny started doing it the other day in a briefing. I was
But
like,
you know
oh, wait,
what?
Danny's like,
Actually,
"Ooh."
though, there's a big point in all of this too, aside from the fact it's hilarious, right? Which is that the companies that do the best in these are the ones that show themselves and allow each of us to
Yes.
see each other. Like we were on
Okay.
several this week that did not
But
allow, and the only way we even knew there was another analyst on because they could say something in a chat, and that is horrific way to do it.
Let's prove the
Horrific.
point out in real time here. I've got something to show you guys. That's Minnie watching us right now.
Yes.
Whoa!
Minnie, how
is
like
what
we're
we're
all just wanting
talking
to talk to
about
Minnie.
here.
Yes.
Wow!
I love that with the
she's working her
airplane
I see. I wonder if she's commenting under someone else's name.
Minnie's straight up just like
Well, Anne
Minnie's
just sent
ordering
She
blueberry
might have done it under
bagels
Anne's.
somewhere.
There. Oh,
Well, just
Minnie
noticing
Virtue's
if you look
background
at
is
the
in the
picture,
works.
she's
There
right
it
in
is.
front of her laptop. She's right
She's
behind her laptop.
mesmerized by us. Yeah.
She's got that laptop open though.
And it was like an all dog CCE too, because Trisha had her dog
Oh,
there too. So
wow.
it was like
Yeah,
Trisha had her dog
All
on
dogs.
stage. It was great. I was
I
like,
know.
we're doing this. But the best was that they came up to me and asked me. I was like, I'm the wrong person to ask for permission at this whole shebang. Like, because I'll say yes to everything, and Ray will be like, wait, what just happened? Like, what? I'll be like, oh, you wanted to take a juggler, a fire breather, and a dog on stage? Absolutely. Yes. Let's do
Of
it.
course.
I'm like, but here's what I will say. And I have said this on, I believe it aired on Wednesday.
Okay.
Our
on-
CRTV, on our little
Okay.
Constellation TV. Doug, Holger, and I were talking about CCE. And they said, like, what was the best part of CCE for you? And this is what I said. The craziest moment for me was getting to hug Paul Greenberg. And it almost made me cry. I swear to God. Like, I saw you, Paul, and I got to hug you for the first time in like 2 years.
It was amazing.
And I was just like, I think I might cry. Like, I actually think I might start weeping.
And not only that, you
because
realize we
people like-
violated a CCE rule by doing it.
Oh, I know. And I was just like, yeah, whatever. Like,
Exactly. That was wonderful.
Not
It
away.
was. Well, the other
That's
thing, you're
beautiful.
world class too. You've got that.
well then
True
Holger
hug.
did say that you were an intense hugger. And then here's the problem. Doug Henshin claims he has never had a Paul Greenberg hug.
What?
Yeah.
I have failed in my duty to human.
So next time,
Right.
Doug,
He's getting
Paul's
one.
coming for you.
Doug's
You're getting one.
Well,
And
you
it's
know,
gonna be an
sometimes you
event.
have to. I never picked up the signal, the hug signal.
Okay,
from him.
Ralph keeps writing to me in German. He's doing it on Twitter. Ralph, you're killing me, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. Does anybody in the house speak German that could translate?
Who has Google
this for us?
Translate? Where's Sven? Where's? Oh yeah.
Oh, you
So,
told this
see?
the last time.
I did.
Ah.
See, Ralph is here. He's because Ralph asked me what right after the Sugar CRM event, which I also thought was really good. I thought
Yes.
that
was.
the Sugar event came together really well. The thing I liked about it was a really nice balance between let's talk to you all about sugar and then here let's talk to you about our customers.
You're way stronger than me, Josh. There's no way I could even hurt you vaguely. You're so strong. Right, so-
I love that this has turned into like, is Paul hugging or is he wrestling analysts at events?
No,
it's a
whenever he
hug.
did that virtual thing because he couldn't hug, I thought he was doing the Wakanda Forever thing.
The Wakanda
I
Forever.
started to pull it back too. So
That's awesome. I love it.
And then I flew off.
Right.
yeah. All right,
then
we
Esteban
got to
showed
keep
up,
in mind that it's wow. And then, all right, we got 5 minutes left because we cannot. Alan will definitely be looking for you, and we want
I
to make
know.
sure that and he'll be looking for us virtually. It'll
He
be a
is.
little
He's
bit
going to be
easier for
like,
us,
TikTok starts at 1.
All right, so we're rounding like third on the analyst event. What is it?
I don't.
Wow, Josh.
Wow, Josh, you just have the most amazing mind to me. I just like am blown away.
I don't know
That was
what's
awesome.
I'm not
I
even
love
sure what that means, and
Josh.
I'm a New Yorker too. Right. So I don't.
Yeah, that's Mike
I
Bowser
love
Nurker.
it.
and Nurk.
I
A
love it.
Nurker. Nurk.
I'm gonna have
Oh, I guess
and
that's
I always
video.
have a lasting image of Josh at like a hat.
I've
I'm
never
looking
seen
up
Josh wear a
Nurker.
hat.
Wasn't he like he was doing something like it was like a I thought so. Wasn't he in a hat? I don't know. Who knows? This might be some crazy Vegas moment that I'm having about Josh in a hat. I don't know. Like, hey, I'm in Vegas. I don't know what that means.
Boy, you are all the way live today, and we appreciate every minute except for the one where you talked about being an ex-Patriots fan.
Joe,
But
yeah.
we-
Ooh.
We'll call her expat.
Expat.
You're expat.
No, I'm the good mother of analysts. Go back to that
Right.
one.
Good mother.
Mother of
Good mother
dragons,
of it.
expat, good mother. It's fine.
Oh, I just love Ralph.
Ralph.
You are his girl. I guess that's what my girl means, right?
My girl. Yeah, I think Ralph is getting just super. I love it. I love it, Ralph. I love
And
Ralph.
apparently, that is
I'm
a
telling you.
slang. Okay.
Oh gosh.
Okay,
German
that's what
slang.
that meant. My girl
My
is
girl?
cool.
I
guess that's
see
what
he
it
means
meant.
my
I
girl.
think that's. I
I don't
guess
know,
that's what it means, but yeah.
I vote
Cool.
for Ralph as like the happiest analyst in the world.
I think I agree
He's
with
always
you.
smiling.
I
He's just
know.
always
I've never
smiling
seen him
and so
without a
happy.
smile
I
on
love
his
it.
Oh,
face.
a corker. A
A
corker.
corker. Oh, a corker. Okay, I know that one.
Whoa.
What the heck
Wait,
is
I
hey,
a
know
corker?
that
Josh,
one.
if we
I don't
bring
know.
you on for the last 2 minutes, will you sing it?
Sing it.
Will you
Oh,
sing
no.
it? Say yes
Really?
or no. If you say yes, we're going to bring you on. You don't
Oh,
have to.
wow.
I love Brett's like,
Can he sing? I've never heard him sing before.
I have
Can he
no
sing?
idea, actually. I've never heard him sing either.
idea.
If he doesn't
I don't know. We
do
only
anything.
well, the good thing is we've already gotten the last question out of the way, like halfway
Okay.
through.
Yeah, so we don't have to think
Not to worry
about
Oh,
it.
did
about
we?
that.
Okay. Sweet.
That was
No.
you
So
know who that was.
who? Oh, yes. Oh,
That was
Alexa.
That's who just made that. I don't know if you
We
heard
missed
her,
her on the happy
that
hours
was
lately.
me. Yeah, she'll be back. Oh, she's coming back. I talked to her this morning.
Oh,
So-
wait a minute. He's saying he's up for it.
Oh, okay. You ready, guys? You know, Liz,
Wait a
you
minute.
know this is worth being 2 minutes
Oh,
late.
oh yeah, yeah. Ooh.
All right, Josh. Send him the
gotta-
link.
We got to
Okay.
send
the
him an
link.
invite. Hey, I'm going to send it via LinkedIn, Josh. So be on the lookout for a LinkedIn message.
Oh,
Wow.
whoa.
This is like,
is Liz, look what you have done.
I know. What have you have wrought, basically?
That's
I
right.
don't,
see it.
yeah,
If it's a
I
good
don't.
wrought
I'm like,
or a
I'm
bad
like,
What
wrought.
hath thou
I don't
wrought?
like. Oh, God, I'm really hoping it's good. Like I'm just like. Oh.
Oh, he wouldn't say yes if it wasn't.
He's
believe
coming.
me.
He's
He knows
going to be
it's
there.
good. He knows
It's
Oh my
happening.
God! Now
It's happening.
LinkedIn is like really slow at the moment. It's like not
What the
coming
what?
up for me. What the heck? What the hell is going
Oh,
on? All
Josh,
I
right,
we're
certainly
gonna-
can't sing it.
We're going to
Here we
send you Brent's sending you a link, and then you just
Yes.
sign into the link, and he'll bring you on.
And just show up.
That's right. Just as soon as you get the link, click
There
in.
you
Brent brings you
got
in.
Green Bomb. Here's the message coming your way with the link.
Okay.
All right. Like,
This is a seminal
what I'm
event
talking about.
on the Playaz.
This really is. This
seminal-
really is.
or
Impossible
it could be.
karaoke. I mean, let's just do this.
This
We
is
hope.
amazing.
We hope.
Oh,
Well, we've had
Oh.
guitar players come on. We've had
You've had whole
man,
bands.
man, he was on the spot too. Look how quick
Yes.
he is.
Whoa.
Here he is.
Okay.
Okay.
Can you all
You're in.
can you hear me?
Yep, go ahead.
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah, we
Okay.
got you.
All right, it goes like this. I haven't done this on the 1, 2, 3. My gal's a corker. She's a. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Hear me?
Yeah,
My
keep going.
gal's a corker. She's a New Yorker. I would buy anything to keep her in style. She's got a pair of legs just like 2 whiskey kegs. Hey, boy, that's where my
What
money
the-
goes.
That went sideways so fast. Wait, what?
That's like an 1890s song. That's an
Yeah, it's a
1890s song.
roaring 20s.
Yeah,
roaring
okay,
20s.
roaring
Let's
20s.
feel it.
But like, aren't whiskey kegs?
That was
Oh my
Really?
God.
Yeah.
Wow. That was
That brought me
absolutely
back
amazing.
to this.
Oh, there's more. Wait, there's more. there are more marginally strange lyrics.
She's
Hang
got
on,
a pair of
Josh,
legs
we're
like
going.
two whiskey kegs, man.
I'm
That is
never
a
gonna
memorable line.
say
That is a memorable line.
I thought like the Mills Brothers singing about
That
like
is
he
amazing.
finally wants to find a girl who doesn't
What?
cheat on her.
What?
Okay.
One more. Oh wait, there's more. Oh gosh, yes.
Okay, go for it.
She's got a bulbous nose, just
No,
like a
no.
big red rose. And when the lights go out, it really does shine.
Oh my god.
I'm gonna stop there.
What?
Please stop.
This is not a love song. Like what is
I
happening?
haven't.
She's got whiskey legs and she's like a Rudolph nose.
No.
I don't.
Well,
She's
whiskey
got
kegs
legs like
during
whiskey
Prohibition might-
kegs
Yeah, but that
and
might
a
be a good
bulbous
thing during
nose that glows in
Prohibition.
the
That's
damn
pretty
dark.
attractive,
What the hell is that?
right? That's very
Like, so
attractive
she's-
during Prohibition.
The
Keep
hell?
that
But
in
she's
mind.
drunk. Like let's just
Right.
establish
Yeah, but
that my girl's
again, it's
drunk. Like
Prohibition.
she's well, that's
Yeah.
true.
That young
Oh.
woman can provide 2 kegs of
What
whiskey
was her name again?
during Prohibition.
Corker?
No, she's a cork.
Yeah, I still don't know what
I
that
can't.
corker
Wow,
means.
you never heard that expression?
No,
heard
she's a
corker?
corker.
You're a corker.
No.
Corker. Yeah,
no.
that was. I grew up hearing that.
I don't
one.
know. Is that a good thing? I mean, I don't know.
Mitch
The whiskey
Miller did
keg
this.
legs
I
doesn't
cannot
sound
get
too
over
positive.
that, Josh. Mitch
Oh,
Miller.
sing along with Mitch. Oh,
Yeah.
God.
Well, that's his.
Who the hell is
prior
Mitch
to that.
Miller? Is that a relation, Liz? I mean, is this in the
No,
family,
but my
or-
dad did used to listen to him. I used
Sing
to.
along with Mitch. So
Oh, yeah,
he
the
was
sing along
doing
with
this in
Mitch
the
and-
20s.
Yeah,
He was doing this in the 20s.
it was
That's
my
absolutely
dad
amazing.
listening to the Mills. I
Josh?
grew up being weird listening to the Mills Brothers growing up. So yeah, I had a completely off generational music moment. So yeah.
Yeah, not me.
just
but
just tell me this much because I'm still lost in the sauce, so to speak. Does the whiskey keg legs and bulbous nose, is that supposed to be funny? I mean, are they saying that this lady is a joke?
Yeah.
A drunk joke? I don't get it.
Yeah.
You
Well,
want me to answer
yeah.
that?
Yeah, you're the one
I
singing.
know. It's meant to be funny. This is the roaring 20s. No one did anything seriously. We're all getting drunk, ready for the end of the apocalypse in 1929.
Oh,
True that.
okay. I'll go with 1999 by Prince for my apocalypse music. But okay, at least you explained this for me. I appreciate it, Josh. Thank you for coming on and singing about the whiskey keg.
Oh,
legs
wait,
and the bulbous nose that
wait.
glows in the night.
they have one line here. She's got a pair of eyes just like 2 custard pies.
So she's got like yellow jaundiced eyes,
Like
a
she got
bright
yellow
red
roomy.
nose.
She got
and
yellow
fat
roomy eyes.
I did not mean to hijack this with total.
No, this is great. Are you kidding? She's got roomy eyes, yellow custard.
Just like custard pies.
Her
That's
eyes
what I
are
think of
leaking.
when I see beautiful
Her
eyes.
are leaking.
I think of custard
Plus.
pies. Yeah.
Okay.
Did you get the potato chip lips? There's also potato chip lips.
No,
I
okay.
missed
With that, I gotta go.
All right.
Yeah, we got to end this. This is spiraling.
Liz, I love you.
into-
Sorry.
I don't even know
It's
what.
really not personal.
It
Don't
was
take it.
awesome. All right, guys.
All right, we got to go
Amazing.
because
Please.
Alan is probably freaking out that Liz hasn't gotten down. So I'll just be quick about
Liz, we
this.
have a perfectly
on-
good reason why you weren't there.
Yeah, tell her about the whiskey legs and the custard eyes.
Custard eyes.
Custard eyes and bulbous nose rose.
And bulbous nose.
Bulbous
Yep.
nose. All
Bulbous
right,
Oh,
now I'll
boy.
never have a good night's sleep. Anyway, on behalf of Liz Miller and Josh Greenbaum, I am Brent Leary.
I'm Paul Greenberg.
We are the CRM Playaz, and I've lost total control of this, so I don't even know where Minnie is. We'll see you next week.
next week.
Whoa.